Aloha and welcome, Gaia Guardians. Today, I want to start to bring in a body of wisdom that I have been really contemplating, meditating with, working with for the past about 4 years. And it's called the Gene Keys. And the reason that I love this system so much is because it empowers you. It always directs you back inside yourself. That there is no outer guru, but actually all of the answers and all of the wisdom is within you. And when we realize that, then we cease looking for answers from out there, from everybody else, because the narrative out there is so loud and there are so many voices that it can create a lot of chaos as to what to believe. But when we go inward and we listen to the truth of our own inner voice, there is a resonance to that. When we uncover, unwind, unlock our own inner truth, that is true wisdom. And it's a knowing beyond the intellect. It's a vibrational frequency in every one of your cells, in your DNA, that opens you to actually who you truly are and unlocks this ancestral wisdom within you. And so I'm going to talk to you about the 41st gene key because it's one I have in my life's purpose, and it's been so profound, and it continues to be profound because as we begin to open up to it and let it awaken within us, it continues to kind of unravel and get more expansive. And understand that every gene key, regardless of which ones you have in your profile, we have them all within our DNA. So even if it doesn't appear in your hologenetic profile, and if you don't know what that is, you can go to genekeys.com and pull up your hologenetic profile. But today I just want to speak about this one key because it feels really alive for me right now. And this particular gene key is the shadow of fantasy to the gift of anticipation, to the city or the enlightened state or the awakened state or the higher state of emanation. And so in playing with this key, because it's my life's work for a few years now, it's like I'm trying to really look into the shadow of what fantasy is, and fantasy is like a living in the mind. It's like a living in these desires that have not yet manifested, but like when they do manifest, my outer life will become better. So like we fantasize about all these ways that our life could be enriched, whether it's money or a relationship or a home or a trip or outer success, whatever it is for you. Like start to look into what you fantasize about that's not yet manifested into reality, where you think that if and when that comes, your life is somehow going to be better. Fantasy in and of itself holds a really important and potent seed for manifestation. But what happens is we get locked in the fantasy of it, never really bringing it down into the manifested form. And this is where the great secret or the great mystery of this key lies. You see, this key is also called the start codon. Now, in human DNA, you have like a double helix, and at the end of it, you have like the codon, the four bases, if you will, and the helix in the middle. And this is in every single cell of your being. Codes, genetic coding is like 4 letters, which A, D, F, D, G, anyways, it's 4 letters. And the beginning of the code always starts ATG. The 41st codon is the It's like the chemical signature that starts all physiological actions in the body. It literally is the code to program everything that happens. And don't get lost in the technicality of this. I just want you to have like a basic understanding. So, being the start codon that opens up to everything that can be created. So essentially, this particular gene key is the key that fits in the door of all of your DNA, that when you turn it on, opens you up to the totality of what your dormant DNA actually encompasses. So it actually opens you up to the morphogenic field. It opens you up to the living library. When you begin to open this up, when you stop living in the shadow of fantasy and realize that everything is inside you and begin to unlock that remembrance inside your DNA and activate it as the magician that you are. This is known as the ring of origin. Everything originates here. So when you get the key and unlock the ring of origin, it opens you up to everything in existence. The morphogenic field, the Akashic ocean. And then what happens is you step into a field where you can actually, awareness, consciousness can move into the field and extract whatever it needs, whether it be from a perceived past or a future. And you can actually learn how to bring it in through your vessel into reality, which is not really real. But as you learn to do this, you become the architect of your reality, an architect of energy, an architect of light. The gift of anticipation allows you to see what's coming because you have access to the field of everything that has ever been. You know that time is not linear, but every single thing in the multiverse, omniverse, everything exists now. And so consciousness can move into the field and extract what it is that template is wanting to bring in, what you want to bring in. And at this stage, it's like you're not even identified with yourself. It's a knowing that this part of the ocean is what you want to pull in and bring from the all possibility place into the here and the now. And this begins to unravel a world of infinite, boundless creation. It is profound. We have to go and find the keys within. The outer world is all a distraction. As you step into the gift of anticipation, you begin to be able to see what's coming because you're looking into the field before it arrives in form. There is something that propels you in your heart. There's something high, your higher self, your spirit propels you to begin to create something that you are here to create from that field. And then you begin to pull it in. And you begin to allow what is light energy, frequency, vibration to pull in through the technology that is your body, your DNA, your cells, and activate the start codon to begin to translate that energy into form. It is your body that is the technology. We've just forgotten. But as we remember, we are becoming conscious creators. As you begin to live in this state of anticipation, of beginning to build and construct from that field of infinite possibilities, it ceases to be about you. It's not about manifesting what you want for yourself. At this stage, it begins to be about what is in service to the collective field. It's not you looking out from your arrogance and wanting what you want to make you happy in your little constructed life. It becomes something that is much bigger than you. There is a complete knowing that you are part of the greater whole of consciousness, of humanity, of the natural world, of the animal kingdom, that we are inherently part of the whole family. So what we begin to manifest and create is not in service to self, it is in service to all. And this is a key component here, especially in the realm of manifestation, where everybody's trying to manifest for themselves. That is like it's like dark magic. It's like taking energy and distorting it so that you can take from it, as opposed to allowing it to alchemize through the heart and then serving the highest goals, the highest light, the highest evolution of bringing heaven to earth, essentially. So don't get locked in a shadow of trying to manifest for yourself. It's never actually going to bring you true satisfaction, true enlightenment. And this more enlightened state of this key is the gift of emanation. And emanation, it almost defies explanation, as all the acidic states do, because when the acidic state kind of descends spontaneously, when the highest self begins to involute into form, pulling down everything in the ocean of consciousness that is being a vessel for divine source to flow through. At that point, the identification with the I, the individual identity, is annihilated. It's done. It's dissolved. There is actually no more seeking, no more trying, no more doing. It's holding a field of energy that emanates the oneness and the love and the unity, the totality of all that is. There is no more seeking. Everything has come into this 0 point, the void, the pure potential of all creation and creation itself at the same time. All of the cities hold this paradox within them. There is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. There is no wanted or unwanted, dark or light. It's like you become the totality of creation and all that the divine or God or source wants to create through itself as the eyes and the ears and the experience of what it is to be creation, God, goddess in form. And that becomes an emanation that begins to play with this reality in joyousness and innocence. It is an extraordinary space that words do barely touch the majesty and the magnificence of. Everything just becomes ecstatic, orgasmic creation through itself. It's the aurora boreas, it's the snake eating its own tail in the circular spiral of never-ending immortality, eternity. It just continues to go on and on and on. So I'm not going to go too much more into the city, because it's a state that words will never convey. It is only an embodied experience. So it's like just being with your shadow of fantasy. Where are you fantasizing about a life that has not yet manifested, that you think will somehow be more expanded, or you'll be happier, you'll be more joyous when you get something, and begin to feel into anticipation. Like, close your eyes, use your breath, feel the energy that's moving and around you. Begin to tune into the subtlest vibrations. tune into the flowers and the trees, tune into the birds, tune into the insects. They hold the vibratory state of presence, and at the same time, their oneness and their connection to everything. They are a master key. The insects, the bees, the trees, the flowers. Allow consciousness to begin to shift into what it is to be that which you are observing. Yeah, so it's a practice. And it's a practice of silencing the mind and quieting the incessant thoughts. Our mind is so noisy. It mirrors the outer world. And until you can find that place of silence, of stillness, of peace and presence, then you begin to tune yourself into the subtle realms. You become that harmony. So your cells and your DNA begin to tune into a different field. And it's from that place that you can begin to access a much wider state of consciousness. Move into your breath and breathing in and out. As you breathe in, become the receptacle vessel for all life to move in you. The out breath of the trees and the plants is what you're breathing in. Be present, really truly take it in. And as you exhale, let go. Surrender yourself to the moment. Let the breath be that living and that dying, that receptivity, and then that surrender, letting go. Because once you begin to really tune into that breath, you'll notice that there will be a moment when your edges dissolve, when this outer form just begins to kind of melt away and consciousness begins. You will not be able to tell where you end and where everything around you begins. And that's a doorway. That's a doorway into starting to experience what is vaster, more infinite than you have ever believed yourself to be. So I'm going to leave it there for today because I think that's a lot of information. Please leave any questions in the comments below. Please if you like the video, please subscribe. This is a new endeavor. It is the Gaia Guardians. And so if you resonate as a guardian of this earth, as a way shower, as a gatekeeper, as a grid keeper, please tune in. And if all of this is new to you, please ask questions and I'll try to make it as simplified as possible to explain it all to you. Happy solstice, magical portal that opened, and a really powerful portal for letting things in and also for moving more into your creative capabilities. The big message, and I'll do a separate video on this, is like everything is a static orgasm with everything else. Everything is always being penetrated and penetrating in this ecstatic bliss. Nature, everything that's being created is being created through our sexual energy and the powerful life force that orgasm is. And so that energy has been incredibly distorted, and we'll go into that because as we open up to our sacred sexuality and the power of our orgasm and the power of creation, we kind of become these master creators from this place of ecstasy and bliss, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to birth from ecstatic bliss. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Love you. And I'll see you soon.